Previously on Unhinged Reading Vlogs with me.
This Good Morning America sticker. She was denied. I don't care if this is a GMA book club pick. Girl, you gotta work. The epilogue just did not do it for me. Get that off the book. That is so ugly. We don't need to mention that. I mean, it's a plantation. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It is now time for episode 2 of my alphabet challenge.
And coming up next.
Would I pick this book back up to listen to? No. Oh my gosh, I was so miserable. I was so miserable. Y'all, I swear to you, I know how to read. She's got a messy secret. I know he's an attractive man, but we're here to do a job. Hey, welcome back to my channel. This week, I'm going to be jumping into some 2025 new releases. Last year for 2024, majority of what I read, I think I read 180 something books or 170 something, 30%, 40% were new releases. I'm actually working from home. This is my second day working from home. I'm going back tomorrow. I'm doing my work, trust. I'm just taking a little break because I just don't know what to work on yet. That's what it is. And today's Thursday. I'm gonna be getting into new releases this year because I feel like I haven't really read anything. My first book that I'm jumping into, because I've already started it and I've been reading it now for probably 3 days. Probably more than that, actually. I finally got a copy of The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. She might be my favorite author right now. I just love her work. I've read them all. This is her last book that I needed, you know, to obviously like catch up. I mean, it just came out. She has another one coming out, I want to say in like September, like the second half of this year. So I'm excited to get into that. I'm also watching YouTube right now, trying to catch up on all my my videos because I have not really been watching. Fun fact, I almost rarely watch book videos now on YouTube. I tend to only watch ASMR, commentary is my favorite, and documentary style, and then I watch the Kevin Lang Show. That's the only comedic channel that I watch. But book videos, I rarely watch. And I remember when I worked from home, I think in January, I worked the whole week. That's when I caught up with a lot of my book videos. But yeah, even some of my favorite booktubers, like I have not been watching them. I have jumped into The Love Lyric. I'm enjoying it, but I'm only 110 pages into it. I just haven't really sat down and just read a bunch. I know a good part of it is because I don't have the audiobook. For some reason, even if I don't listen to the audiobook, I like having the option. And I don't have that option right now because it's on hold and it's it's a month-long hold. Obviously, I won't probably be done with this by then, hopefully. This is the third book. I think it could also be the last in the, what is it, the Green Sisters trilogy? I think their last name is Green. I think it's Green with the E. Yeah, Green with the E. This one is Iris's book. She is the older sister. So we started with the younger sister in the first book, The Neighbor Favor. Our FMC from The Neighbor Favor is named Lily. Violet is the partner plot, and then Iris is the love lyric. Honestly, my least favorite book of Christina Forrest in general is the partner plot. Which I think is crazy because a lot of people's least favorite might be The Neighbor Favorite. I don't know. But the partner plot, it just didn't have tropes that I enjoyed. I'm enjoying this one. So this one is single parent, like music artist or whatever, because Angel is our MMC's name in here and he's an R&B singer. Iris works in the beauty industry and she works for a Black beauty brand. At the beginning of the book, we start with a prologue. And we are at Violet, spoiler alert, we are at Violet's wedding. She's marrying whatever his face, what's his face from the second book. Iris is there. We are introduced to Angel as well. And they are in turn introduced to each other. I don't want to say it's love at first sight. There's definitely an attraction there, specifically on Angel's part. Chapter 1 takes place 3 years later. Nothing came out of that. He attempted at that point to like ask her out. She's a parent, she's a single parent. Her daughter's name is Kala or Kayla. I think I've been saying Kala in my head because it's C-A-L-L-A, I believe. So nothing came out of that. And then 3 years later, they are back into the same circle again because he is now a more prominent R&B singer in the industry. And he's going to be the face of this new line, I guess, for the skincare brand or beauty brand that Iris works at or works for. I'm enjoying it. It's just I have not really sat down and really just read the book. So I'm gonna hopefully do that today. I hope I didn't miss anything, but I'm really enjoying it. I mean, we're 3 years later, so Kala is 6. She's in she's about to graduate from kindergarten. Oh, duh. They're gonna be on a business trip. I don't remember where I'm at, if they're on the business trip just yet. I think so. Or they're about to. I don't think they're on it yet. They're gonna go on, is it a tour? Maybe it's some kind of tour. Y'all, I swear to you, I know how to read. I know how to comprehend what I'm reading, but like I kind of don't. Let me see. Let me just read the back. Yeah, he's gonna kickstart his campaign for the beauty company, and they're gonna go on a tour. Iris wasn't supposed to be accompanying him. It was supposed to be someone else, but she's pregnant. Doctor says you gotta stay put. Iris is gonna be taking her place, so I'm sure a good portion of that book is gonna be them on this kickoff tour or campaign. But it's also gonna turn into, what do you call it, forbidden, because Iris has already gotten the talk from her boss. I think it's the woman that owns the beauty brand, the CEO. Like, listen, you're doing a job. You know, I know he's an attractive man, but we're here to do a job. And she had already gotten into, I don't want to spoil too much or say too much, but she had already kind of gotten into some trouble with the company that she works for. Not really like her fault. It just all fell onto her. Kind of trying to get back into a little like good graces. But I also wanted to show y'all what other books might be in this video. Yesterday, I did go to the library because I had to return a book. And I also had 2 holds to pick up. And one of those holds is a 2025 new release. It is called Love on Paper. The other 2 books, I have Harlem Rhapsody. I'm pretty sure this came out this year. I'm not even checking. I'm pretty sure. I also have the audiobook that I renewed again. I think this was my 3rd time renewing it. Skin. Oh, scared me. Hold on, y'all. Commercial break. Pause. Take 2. So then I have Skin. This is, I want to say, a young adult fantasy. It's told in, what is it, verse? I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, it's not going to take me that long to finish it. Okay, let me get back to work. I am finally clocked out, and I did make some progress in my book. But remember, I also took a lunch. Okay, I have my ASMR playing in the background. I am a little past the halfway mark. I am in chapter 16 and they're kind of getting it on. I'm on page 214, 215. They're kissing. I am enjoying this. I can tell you now, out of this trilogy, I don't think there's gonna be any more books. I could see maybe, and I kind of hope that she does, do like a spin-off half book, so like a 3.5 or a 2.5. That's like a novella, because there's 2 other characters in here and I'm kind of getting this romance feeling from them, and I wouldn't mind reading like a short little novella with them in it. So Christina Forrest, if you're watching this, hop on it. Anyway, oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So out of the trilogy, Lily's book, Violet's book, and now Iris's book, I think I can't. I don't know, because I almost thought that this might be my favorite book out of the trilogy. The problem is I think I gave The Neighbor Favor like a 4.75. I could see myself giving this over a 4. I just don't see myself giving this a 4.75. That's a little too high in my opinion. I can't say that I love this one more than The Neighbor Favor if you look at the 2 ratings. Just know that the way that I feel about rating books changes. The way that I feel now might be different from the way that I feel in December of this year, you know, with how I rate books. So I would say probably take that with a grain of salt. Like, the only thing that I will say that I wish we got more of, we may get more of it eventually, but I'm also kind of glad that we haven't focused on that. But we haven't really focused on the single parent. We've seen moments of her, again, I'm pronouncing her name as Kala. We've seen moments of them together, but it's not one of those single parent tropes where, I mean, immediately that MMC or the FMC, which in this case it would be the MMC, is involved in the little girl's life. I've read single parents where that's like the main trope, you know, and it's like they're constantly in that person's life, in that kid's life, and I love that. So I kind of wish, because I always say I love little kids and old people, like both sides of the of the spectrum, little kids and old people in books. I think I might like old people in books a tad more than little kids. And when I say little kids, they don't have to be babies. Like, I'm talking about they could be anywhere from like 2 to like 10. You know what I mean? I like the way that kids are written in books, but I think I love the way older people are written just a tad more, because they're unhinged. The ones that I've read, it's like you don't bat an eye because they're older. They're still on the tour. They're almost done with the tour. I can kind of see now what the conflict might be. And I just realized this book right here, let me see. Yeah, Love on Paper most likely won't be in here because this is letter L. If you guys watch my channel, I've made a series out of reading books where the first letter matches the alphabet. So episode 1 has been out for who knows how long now. That had A through E. And I am currently working on episode 3, which is gonna have K through O. I already read K. Like, I started episode 3 while I was actually working on episode 2, and K has been done, and now I have letter L. I guess I'm gonna take this out, which leaves Skin and Harlem Rhapsody. It's been a few days. So today is already Wednesday. It was just Wednesday last week, and it's already Wednesday again. So I did end up finishing the one by Christina Forrest, The Love Lyric. My favorites now out of completing the trilogy. I would definitely say The Neighbor Favor is still my favorite. I did not like this one better. Mind you, I don't remember most of what I've read. I just finished the book not that long ago. It needs to be studied. I don't understand how I don't remember a lot of these books. The Neighbor Favor is still my favorite. Then I would say The Love Lyric, and then The Partner Plot. The Partner Plot, we just didn't vibe. I think I gave The Love Lyric a 4-star. I don't think I've rated this higher than The Partner Plot. That's the thing. Let me see. The Partner Plot. The Partner Plot, I probably gave like a 4. I gave The Partner Plot a 4.25. I'm not going to change the rating, but just know that me reading The Partner Plot was a different time. I believe I read The Partner Plot last year. The romance was good, in my opinion. I did enjoy the romance. I can better explain this now. I don't know if I explained it well before, but this is single parent. And single parent is definitely one of the main tropes in here. But what did not happen, there were not too many interactions between Angel and Kala, her daughter. Normally in single parent books, whether it's the dad that's single or the mom that's single with their kid, the partner, there's a lot of interactions between them. And we don't get that in here. We get maybe 2 interactions, and technically one of them is in the epilogue, and the one that we do get, like just within the book, it feels like 2 interactions, but it's 2 different scenes that are consecutive. So like one is at the house and then they go somewhere else, so it's still the same scene, but it feels like 2 scenes, but that's it. And I actually did like that. I don't know why. We still got good moments between Kala. It just wasn't Kala and Angel. It was Kala and her mom, Lyric. Her name is not Lyric. Iris. I did like the forbidden aspect. There were some steamy moments. Personally, I skimmed. I have to be in the mood to read that. I have 3 books to tell y'all about. Y'all know I had mentioned Love on Paper, and I was like, oh, this is a new release. I'm gonna read it in here. But then I was like, wait, this starts with the letter L, and episode 3 has letter L in it. So I'm like, I'm gonna use this. Girl, I DNF'd on page 28. I couldn't do it. And I didn't want to. If I had the audiobook, I would definitely listen to it because I don't normally DNF audiobooks. I mean, I'm just listening to it and I can speed through it, but my library doesn't have the audiobook just yet. Now, when they do get it, or if they do get it, would I pick this book back up to listen to? No. It would just be if they had it now, I would have listened to it. I did not like the writing. It was very quirky, and it's like I know everyone has different personalities, and just because the girl in here is 17 doesn't mean that she might, I don't know. Like, I was once 17 and I'm sure I was a lot more like her than I think I was. I just don't want to read it. I did bring Skin at some point to start because I am about halfway through Harlem Rhapsody. I'm probably 49% of the way through. I've been listening to the audiobook. I've been reading it physically as well. This makes me upset that before going into this, I didn't know that much about the Harlem Renaissance, because I remember learning about the Harlem Renaissance when I was in 9th grade. I just wasn't really interested in that at the time. Really, anything history related that we didn't learn in actual history class. Like learning about the Harlem, and mind you, that's what the Harlem Renaissance is. You know, it's writing and art and reading and dance and music and, you know, like entertainment and education. And it's like, you'd think I would love learning about that in English, but I just did not. The only thing I remember from the lesson is watching When Their Eyes Were Watching God with Michael Ealy and I want to say Halle Berry. It makes me upset because going into this, you know, I want to be able to say, oh, that's Jean and them. And the only names that I recognize are Langston Hughes and W.E.B. Du Bois. That's all I remember. That's all that's like, oh, that's Jean and them. So this is about Jessie. And Jessie is known for jump-starting the Harlem Renaissance. And she has become the literary editor of The Crisis. She's the first Black woman to hold this position, but she's got a messy secret. She is also the mistress or the lover of the founder of The Crisis, the magazine, which is W.E.B. Du Bois. He's married, he has a kid, and he's got a side piece. Let me not say a side piece, but he's got a side woman, and that is Jessie. Stand up. Stand up. I'm not gonna lie, those parts are very messy because I think this book has a good balance of her in her literary editor position and her working and discovering all these different writers, but also the messiness that comes with being the side woman of someone who is married, because it's so it's 6:48, I have to go. But it's so messy. Let me speed through it. Yeah, so I mean, she's been discovering writers here and there. Her first novel is released with great acclaim. I don't know if I got to the point where her novel was released. They've spoken about it, but I don't remember if it was released. This is a long book. It's about 371. Those are author's notes. I've been really enjoying it. It really feels like I'm reading a history book. Now, mind you, this is fiction, but it's historical fiction. So there's some truth to this, right? It has to be historically accurate. Two things. It makes me proud to be a reader. There was one other book I read that made me feel that way. I don't remember what it was, but this makes me proud to be a reader and definitely motivates me more to not only continue reading, but especially to continue reading historical fiction. Historical fiction is one of my favorite genres, honestly. I never thought I would say that. And the other thing is it makes me feel like I'm reading a piece of history. I don't know how else to explain it, but I have to go. Planning on going to the library today and sit for a few. I mean, I've been reading this physically, but I love the audiobook. It is a bit complicated sometimes because we do go back in time. Sometimes she could be doing something and it reminds her of this moment, and then we all of a sudden jump back. And if you're listening to it, and you could miss it if you're not paying too much attention. Bye! I did end up finishing Harlem Rhapsody last night. Well, not really last night when I got home. I just listened to it. I honestly enjoyed listening to it rather than reading it. I did read it as well. Read it with my eyes. I think also because it was long and it's like, I don't know. I've gotten so used to listening to audiobooks now. Like, I'm so mad that the book that I'm about to mention has an audiobook, but I have to put it on hold. I ended up giving this a 4-star. I could definitely see someone giving this a 5-star, giving this something a little higher. Why am I giving it a 4? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a 5 though. Like, for me, anywhere between a 4 and a 5, or a 4 and a 4.75. I even thought about maybe a 4.25, but I'm just gonna give it a 4. Was a little long for my liking. I didn't really take points off. Maybe I did. Maybe that's why I'm feeling the way that I do. Y'all, it's making me want to read so much about the Harlem Renaissance. And I went down just a little bitty rabbit hole, and I looked it up on TikTok, and there's a user on there who asked the author 3 questions. I think one of the questions was, how did she find a good balance between history and fiction, because they don't really go together, fiction being not real. She said she did a lot of research, but also I love the author's note. There was 2. There was an author's note at the end, and then there was, like, right after it, a historical note. And yeah, let me see, because there was something that she said that I wanted to mention. She had discovered Jessie by listening to an episode from Trymaine Lee's podcast Into America from a series called Harlem on My Mind. And she says that after that podcast, I'll just quote what she says. I found the rabbit hole and jumped all the way in. Like with so many other women who'd been lost in the folds of history, there wasn't a lot of information on Jessie. But just her saying she went down this rabbit hole, that's me. After reading her book, right? She got inspiration from listening to a podcast and went down the rabbit hole and created this. And by her creating this, it makes me want to go down that rabbit hole as well. She did say that she couldn't find a ton of information solely on Jessie, but she found a lot of information on Jessie through letters and anytime W.E.B. Du Bois was mentioned as well, because the two went hand in hand. And she also speaks on the affair in here. What has always confused me about historical fiction is what is the fiction part, because every time I read a historical fiction, I swear to you, it feels real. Like it feels like everything that I'm reading is fact. And in that TikTok video, maybe I'll include it or just that part. She says the facts, like the history is real, but what's made up is, what did she say? Like the conversation. Obviously, she doesn't know exactly what they said, so that's made up. That's fiction. But how certain scenes went down. There's a scene in here. I don't know if I should say it. I mean, it's not really a spoiler because it did happen. But there's a scene in here where Jessie, mind you, Jessie is the mistress of W.E.B. She ends up throwing a wedding anniversary for the two. What? The entire thing is detailed in a letter. I think she said that's one of the most accurate scenes portrayed in this book. I did go ahead and start Skin, or I feel like I keep wanting to say, because the S is in parentheses, I keep wanting to say Skin. So I am on page 37. This again is told in verse. So we have two main characters. What time is it? Oh, 6:43. We have Marisol, who is 15, and Genevieve, who's 17. This is Marisol, and this is Genevieve. We start with Marisol. All of her texts are towards the right. All of her little stanzas, they're towards the right. And I immediately noticed this. We finally get to Genevieve. So this is the start of Genevieve. And hers are to the left. I swear, see, it's to the left. When I got to Genevieve's chapter and I started, I'm like, something's not right. And then I realized it's because hers are starting on the left. I'm still a little confused about what this is about, but one of the reasons why I was so intimidated by this book is because it is told in verse. And for some reason, when I think of stories told in verse, I immediately think of poems. I'm not a poetry person. So although I want to go down the rabbit hole of like the Harlem Renaissance and stuff, not the poetry I fear. I'm not into poetry. I'm just not. Thinking for myself, I've never been good at that. Like trying to delve deeper into, y'all packing? What's going on? We're moving offices. So we're going to be kicked out soon. And now everybody, like there's like nobody here. Yeah, so I think of poetry. And when I think of poetry and poems, I think of rhyming. So I'm like, and I think of saying something but not actually saying it, if that makes sense. So that's why I was intimidated. Mind you, I've read books written in verse. I don't know about y'all, but one of the memories that I have from being in grade school, reading books based not necessarily on the aesthetic, but maybe like the formatting of the book. A couple of books that come to mind, I believe Go Ask Alice was told in verse. I could be wrong. There was a series called Crank. The first book is called Crank. Ellen Hopkins, maybe? Ella Hopkins? I want to say it's Ellen Hopkins. That series. The first book is called Crank, and the entire series is called the Crank series. Those are told in verse. Were the books actually good? I couldn't tell you. I just remember them being super long, but it's because they were written in verse. Now I'm a little intimidated because this is a fantasy. Like, I'm serious. She got a box too. I'm serious. What's going on? Oh, it's time to go in. I'm going in now. I'm going to see what they're doing. Bye. Let me hurry up and get out. I want to know what's going on. We leaving or what? Bye. Okay, little update for y'all. I did not finish the book yesterday. I'm darn near finished. I read till 2:41. I did end up listening to some of the audiobook. I didn't mean to. I wasn't planning on it, but I was like, let me go ahead and listen to it, and that's how I got a lot farther, which it wouldn't take much anyway because it's, again, told in verse. Or written in verse? Girl, I don't know. I never spoke about the synopsis because I was interrupted because I was being so nosy. If y'all want to update on that. Her car is still here, so she's not home yet, but again, we're moving offices. So there's a lot of movement going on and we have to be out by a certain date, and that date is approaching very quickly. And I think she was maybe just prepping because today is Friday, so I don't know why she would have went home yesterday. That was it. So anyway, so let's get into the synopsis. I'm gonna have to use this, which when do I not? Oh, specifically this time because it's 6:39. Specifically this time because I'm so far into it. I'm way past the halfway mark. I'm about 60% of the way through. I don't want to spoil anything. Marisol is 15 and she's the daughter of a sequoian. If that's how you pronounce that, I don't know. And this is not like a metaphor and thing. This is actually a fantasy book, if I didn't mention that already. So which is like maybe like some kind of witch, shapeshifter, something like that. She sheds her skin like every new moon and she shifts. Now, she's never seen herself in the mirror, like, so she doesn't know what she looks like when she shifts because she's not supposed to. But if we as like a regular human, because she has a human form, but she's not necessarily human. If we as a human were to like catch her shifting or flying, it would look like a comet they described, or because it's basically like she's like a fireball, but to us, because obviously she's probably going so fast, it's like a comet or a shooting star or something like that. Her and her mom both immigrate from the islands to Brooklyn, New York. Is that how y'all say that? New York. Let me not. Marisol hoped they would leave their old traditions behind when they immigrated from the islands, but she knows this will never happen while she remains ensnared by the one person who keeps her chained to her magical past, her mother. And then we have Genevieve. She's 17. She is the daughter of a professor and a newly minted older half-sister of twins. Now, she has a skin condition that is getting worse. It's just bad. The way it's described, I'm like, oh my gosh, poor thing. She has like eczema, because it's not just like face. It's also like maybe arms and stuff. So she has like eczema, acne, but it's like the cystic, like, oh, like it looks like it hurts, you know? And she's like, I'm in pain. It's not just, it's not just there. Like, she is also in pain as well. When the babies keep her up all night, she does go outside. And I don't know if it's only when the babies keep her up all night, but I remember reading that part specifically. She'll go outside, butt naked, by the way. Her dad caught her. He's like, why are you naked? Put the robe back on. She couldn't get it on fast enough because her skin becomes hot, you know? But anyway, so she'll go outside, she'll like look, and it's kind of like I don't want to say hallucinates. She seems to dream about this memory of her estranged mother, because they do say that here, so I can say that. Her dad is her biological dad, but her mom is her stepmom, and they're both white, so she's biracial. When a new nanny arrives to help with the twins, a family secret connecting her to Marisol is revealed, and Jen begins to find answers to questions she hasn't even thought to ask. But the girls soon discover that the very skin keeping their flames locked beneath the surface may be more explosive to the relationships around them than any ancient magic. I'm enjoying it. I know it's not a 5. I could maybe see someone giving this a 5-star. It's not a 5 for me. I hate to sound so corny, but I do feel there's something poetic about what I'm reading, and that's kind of what I was worried about going into this kind of book. It's detailed enough that it's reading like a regular story, but it's also not at the same time. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I think the formatting also plays a part in that. I should be able to finish this today, and I'm not gonna lie, anytime I'm almost done with a book and it's something that I think I can finish in the same day, I always bring another. I'm not planning on putting this in a video, I'm just mentioning it now. This is not a new release. I can't believe this came out in 2023 because I remember this coming out. I did finish Skin last night. I ended up finishing it as an audiobook, I believe. I think it worked really well as an audiobook. It is dual narrated. There are some parts where I was kind of like, I don't know if the narration is working, but I think overall it did work in general. I'm gonna give this a 4-star. I love the first half. When I got to about 65% to maybe the 80% mark, or 70% to the 80% mark, the author was losing me. But I think it's also because yesterday was Friday and I worked my 8-hour regular work day. We flex every other week. I think I'm one of the only ones that does it. This coming week, I'm gonna be working 9 hours Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, I only have to work 5 hours. The week after, you just work 8 hours Monday through Friday. And that was me this past week. And so Friday, oh my gosh, I was so miserable. I was so miserable. I was planning on reading the rest of it with my eyes, but I'm like, I need something going on in my ears right now because this is not working. So I put the audiobook on and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. But then we were getting towards the end, right? Maybe like the 85% mark, and things were happening. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling it. So I think again, the first half and then towards that ending really made up for the part that I just didn't like. But again, that was also probably because of my mood. I was not in a good mood to be still at work at that time. And then everyone around me was leaving, and it's like, oh no, this ain't happening. And I won't lie, another thing for me that will turn a 3-star book or 3.5 into a 4-star or a 4.5 or a 4.25 is the author's note. I love author's notes, especially when they just expound on what they've written. I hope I use that word right. Expound? Expand? When they expand? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And that's exactly what the author does in this. And I just want to read this part because she does give a reason as to why she wrote it in verse. Before I get into it, if you don't like reading the author's note because it's always last and you think it's a spoiler, skip a little ahead, okay? So she said, I've decided to write this story as a contemporary fantasy novel in verse because poetry and lyricism are an important part of Caribbean storytelling. Not all magic can be explained, but its truth is hidden in the unseen and unspoken parts of a story. And in poetry, the line breaks, the white space, the wordplay, the word placement, and the metaphors all tell another story, the real story. And she says more than that. I mean, it's 2 pages or a page and a half, I don't know. The author's note really sealed the deal for me. Genevieve. I don't know how I feel about her. Very questionable in what she said sometimes, but I think I also overthink a lot, and I always have a think piece ready. That is the part where I was kind of not feeling the book. It was something with Genevieve, and I was like, I think I might give this a 3. Not even a 3, I was gonna say a 3.5. But I got past it, and again, the rest of the book picked up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a 4. I do not know what number book this is in this video. I wanna say this is only 2. I was supposed to be, no, that might actually be 3. Could I actually post a video this weekend? Because I know I like to do about 3 books in a video. I think this is book 3. I know I read Harlem Rhapsody in here, and I've read Skin. Oh, and I read The Lovelier. Y'all, I might have a video for this weekend. It's Saturday. Should I end the video here? I think I might. Okay, that's it for today's video. Comment down below some other content ideas, some other video ideas that you would like to see, and I'll see you next week. Bye!